Hi again, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Ask the Lawyer. Today we're going to ask how to know if you really have a case or not, if you're in an automobile collision, especially if you're injured. And luckily we have someone here to answer our questions who can help us get there. Attorney Greg Herrman with Herrman Herrman, based in Corpus Christi. Greg, thank you for making some time for us today.
Sure. Thank you, Rob.
I'm going to guess you probably get asked this question a lot. So let's start with this one. People come in, they talk to you, and they want to know, how much is my case worth? What do you say when they say that?
Well, every case is different. So it's going to depend on the severity of your injury. It's going to depend on how much medical bills you have in the past that you've already accumulated. And usually people come to us right after the accident, so they're going to keep going to the doctor, going to therapy. They may need special tests, which may or may not come out, positive. And then even after you're kind of healed and you've reached what they call maximum medical improvement, you may still have issues that last another 5 years, 10 years, the rest of your life. So there's the concept of future medical bills. Like if we went to a jury right now, what could doctors testify you're likely to need for the rest of your life? Do you have any? I mean, some people don't have any future medical, but some people do. And some people may have a life care plan where they've got millions of dollars in future care. Lost wages, same thing. Did you lose any money because of the accident? Did you get fired? Were you off work? Are you going to have a loss of future earning capacity in the future where you can't work as much, or you can't go back to doing the same type of job you did before? Mental anguish. Obviously, if you severely injured, you're going to have a lot of mental anguish. And will that last the rest of your life? Are you going to have future mental anguish? On a serious injury, if you're going to have a whole bunch of future medical care and stuff, you're probably going to have a lot of, pain and suffering and mental anguish in the future. So you got pain and suffering past and future, mental anguish past and future, lost wages past and future. Medical bills past and future. You may have disfigurement. You may have scars. You may have other things that you deserve to be compensated for, past and future. Loss of physical capacity. So, let's say you used to go play football with your kids, and now you can't do that anymore. I mean, maybe you can return to the job, but you can't play football with your kids. You can't pick them up. There's lots of things you can't do anymore with your kids. What's that worth? I mean, you deserve to be compensated for that. So it just all depends on what kind of case you have. And there's no way for somebody when they walk in my office for me to tell them your case is worth X. Right. We have to wait and get you all the treatment you can get. And then at the end, we can start putting some numbers, everything, and kind of figure out what it's going to be worth.
Where do those numbers come from, Greg? I assume part of it is just your experience. You've done this a long time. You have a feel for how that works. But are there also professionals involved, expert witnesses, that sort of thing that get involved?
Oh, sure. Medical bills, you get medical testimony on what the bills are and what they're liable to be in the future. Same thing with your lost wages. You get an economist. You may need a vocational rehab therapist or vocational rehab specialist that can come in and testify. Here's the jobs that this person used to be able to do, and there's no way they're ever going to be able to do these again. And so here's the difference in loss of earning capacity. And then you get an economist to calculate out the present value of that future lost earning stream. And you can do that with the economist on pretty much anything. You give him some numbers going on in the future, and he can give you what's called a present value of that, because that's what a jury's going to decide is what's the present value of these future earnings. Some of it, like pain and suffering, of course, is going to be subjective, and that's what lawyers argue over a lot, and mental anguish. And the truth is, unless it's a very severe injury, most jurors do not like giving money for either mental anguish or pain and suffering. They just, it's hard to convince all the jurors to give money for those things.
Would you say it's always worth it, Greg? And you've been in an auto accident or however you were injured. Would you say it's always worth it to contact an attorney to see if there's a case there?
Sure. Let's just a minor accident, and you're just not really hurt at all.
Right.
But otherwise, yeah, I mean, just because of all the scenarios we laid out above, unless you know all this and you're a good negotiator and you know the law real well, sure, it's always a good idea to. Well, and even then, you can't be objective about your own case.
Right.
They say a lawyer that represents himself has a fool for a client. So it's just hard to be objective about your own case. So yes, you should always talk to a lawyer.
What if somebody's thinking, I'm not sure I can afford an attorney, especially one of quality like Herrman and Herrman. What are they thinking? I can't afford that. My life just got turned upside down, injured in this accident, went to the hospital. What is your answer to that?
Everybody can afford us. Everybody. We work on a contingency fee, which means we don't charge you by the hour, and we don't even make you pay for the experts up front or pay any other expenses up front. We cover everything, and if we lose, we don't get paid. You don't owe us a dime. But if we win, we get a percentage of what we get for you. So we're incentivized to be on your side and get you as much money as we can possibly get you, because the more money we get you, then the more money we make. So everybody can afford a personal injury lawyer, assuming that the personal injury lawyer works on a contingency fee like we do here at Herrman Herrman.
What about the initial consultation? Do I need to be prepared to come out of pocket for that initial consultation?
No. That's all. It's all part of the deal. Everything's free. Well, not free, but
Right.
everything is on a contingency fee. No money is going to be coming out of your pocket at all. Our job is to put money in your pocket.
Some cases, Greg, go to trial. Some cases are settled. What is your advice for people to determine whether or not they should settle or take it on to trial? I'm assuming every case is different, but what's your rule of thumb there?
Yeah, I mean, every case is different. The biggest rule of thumb is what we call the potential plaintiff, the one that's going to be filing the suit, the human being that's injured. We call him Exhibit A or her Exhibit A. And if they don't make a good witness and a jury's not going to like them, we don't care what kind of case they got. We just say, listen, jury's not going to like you. And most people understand that because they're rude, they're argumentative with us. They won't answer questions. They won't answer discovery. They lie. They just do stuff that people don't like. And so that's our first rule is if we don't like this guy, what are the odds a jury's going to like them? And every time we've gone to trial with somebody we don't like, we lose. So that's rule number one. But rule number two is then what's the jury likely to give on this case? And if you got a crappy case, jury's not going to probably give you that much money. And if they're offering decent money or above what's decent money, then you ought to take the money and run. But again, it just depends on the case. If we feel that, well, and then there's a mathematical calculation too, because our percentage does go up some if we have to go to trial, because now we got to do a whole lot more work, and we don't want to end up working for minimum wage or something. But second, your expenses go way up when you go to trial. And now the experts have to come down. They're usually from out of town. You got to bring them in. You got to pay their hotel. You got to pay their rental car, their meals. You got to pay them to come testify. So your expenses go way up too. So, we can look at it and go, okay, if we take this to trial, here's the expenses we're going to incur. Here's the increased fee. So even if a jury gave you X, then subtract all those out, and here's what you'd end up with. Now let's see what they're offering right now to settle without going to trial. And if they're pretty much the same, it'd be kind of silly to go through a whole trial and risk getting zero or less than what the insurance company is offering you.
It sounds like in that kind of situation, it's helpful to have someone who has the experience that you and your firm have to help you make the best choice there.
Yes, it sure does. We've handled tens and tens of thousands of cases, and so we've got a pretty good idea what a case is worth and what juries do, and so yeah, experience always helps in anything.
Well, you've been super helpful as usual, Greg. Thank you so much for taking some time and answering our questions today. I appreciate it.
Okay. Well, thank you, Rob.
That's going to do it for this episode of Ask the Lawyer. My guest has been attorney Greg Herrman of Corpus Christi. If you're ready to choose a lawyer that lawyers choose, make sure to go to askthelawyer.com first. Also, please take a second to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel down below. Thanks for watching. I'm Rob Rosenthal with AskTheLawyers.com.